This is The Secret. Introduction. The Secret begins by unveiling a powerful idea that has been passed down through centuries, hidden in plain sight and known to a select few throughout history, the law of attraction, which posits that like attracts like, and that individuals have the ability to shape their reality through the power of their thoughts, emotions and beliefs. Rhonda Byrne presents the concept as a life-changing revelation that, once understood and applied, can transform every aspect of a person's existence, from health and wealth to relationships and happiness. Drawing inspiration from ancient traditions, religious texts, philosophies and modern-day thinkers, she introduces the secret not just as a mystical or esoteric idea, but as a universal law that governs all creation, much like gravity, and affects everyone whether they are aware of it or not. The introduction emphasizes that throughout history, influential figures such as Plato, Shakespeare, Newton, Hugo, Beethoven, Lincoln, Emerson and Einstein are believed to have known this secret and used it to achieve greatness, and now this ancient wisdom is being brought to light so that anyone can use it to manifest their desires and create a joyful life. Byrne details her own personal awakening to the secret, describing how, during a low point in her life filled with stress and adversity, she discovered a 100-year-old book, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles, that opened her eyes to a hidden truth, that thoughts have a frequency, and by aligning our thoughts with what we want, we can draw those things into our experience. Inspired by this realization, she embarked on a global journey, gathering insights from spiritual teachers, metaphysicians, scientists, authors, and success coaches who all reinforced the same core message: you become what you think about most. The introduction sets the tone for the rest of the book by declaring that the law of attraction is always at work, whether consciously or unconsciously, and that the key to mastering it lies in deliberately choosing thoughts that match the life we wish to live. According to Byrne, most people live reactively, focusing on what they don't want, and in doing so continue to attract more of it into their lives. She asserts that it is not external circumstances but internal focus that determines reality, and thus shifting our mindset is the first step toward transformation. She uses analogies like a genie granting wishes or a human being acting as a powerful transmission tower, constantly emitting frequencies that attract matching experiences, to make this abstract idea more accessible. The introduction is not just theoretical, it also carries a message of empowerment, hope, and encouragement, assuring the reader that no matter their past or current situation, they have the power to change everything through the conscious use of their mind. Byrne invites readers to test the secret in their own lives, starting with small things, like visualizing a parking spot, and gradually moving on to bigger goals, building faith through personal experience. She also acknowledges that skepticism is natural, but insists that belief is crucial, as doubt and fear disrupt the manifestation process. Moreover, she underscores the importance of gratitude, suggesting that feeling thankful for what one already has, even before seeing results, amplifies the magnetic pull of positivity and abundance. The introduction encourages readers to let go of limiting beliefs, victimhood and negative self-talk, and instead step into the role of the conscious creator of their reality, where nothing is impossible and everything is attainable with the right mindset. It highlights the difference between thinking about what you want versus focusing on the absence of it, a subtle but critical distinction, and emphasizes that the universe responds not to words, but to the feelings and energy behind those words. Byrne positions the secret not only as a tool for personal development but as a key to unlocking a universal truth that has been obscured by fear, doubt, and ignorance for far too long. By lifting the veil on this ancient knowledge, she hopes to initiate a global awakening, where individuals collectively recognize their power and responsibility in shaping both personal and planetary outcomes. In this sense, the introduction carries a sense of mission. It's not just about material wealth or surface-level success, but about aligning with joy, love, and purpose. Byrne assures the reader that the secret works in every area of life: money, relationships, health, career, and that it is available to everyone regardless of background, education, or circumstance. Her tone is enthusiastic and reverent, as if revealing a treasure that has been hidden in plain sight, urging the reader to suspend disbelief and open their heart and mind to a new way of thinking. Ultimately, the introduction to The Secret is a call to action, inviting the reader to shift from passive recipient of life to empowered creator, and sets the stage for the practical steps and personal testimonies that will follow in later chapters. It's a passionate, almost spiritual plea to recognize that the mind is a magnet, the universe is responsive, and your thoughts, more than anything else, are the architects of your destiny. Chapter 1, The Secret Revealed, opens the door to the central message of the entire book, the law of attraction, and introduces it as the most powerful law in the universe, a force that governs every aspect of our lives whether we are aware of it or not. Rhonda Byrne begins by explaining that the law of attraction works on the simple principle that like attracts like, meaning that whatever thoughts and emotions we put out into the universe will attract experiences and outcomes that match them in frequency. In this way we become like magnets, constantly drawing into our lives the people, events and circumstances that are in alignment with the dominant thoughts we hold in our minds. The chapter emphasizes that most people go through life without knowing that this law exists or how it operates, and as a result, they unknowingly attract things they don't want by focusing on fears, worries, and lack. Byrne reveals that this secret has been known and used by great thinkers, inventors, philosophers, and leaders throughout history, people like Plato, Leonardo da Vinci, Isaac Newton, Shakespeare, Abraham Lincoln, and even Albert Einstein, who either consciously or intuitively understood this hidden law and applied it in their lives to achieve greatness. She claims that this knowledge has been deliberately hidden, suppressed, or forgotten over time, known only to a select few who used it for personal power or success, but now, through the secret, it is being made available to everyone. According to Byrne, the law of attraction is impersonal and neutral, much like the law of gravity. It responds to whatever energy you emit, whether positive or negative, and doesn't distinguish between good or bad, wanted or unwanted. It simply delivers what matches the frequency of your dominant thoughts and feelings. This means that if you constantly think about debt, illness, or loneliness, you will attract more of those things, even if you are doing so with the intention of avoiding them, because the universe responds to the energy behind the thought, not the words you use. Byrne introduces several modern-day teachers and experts in fields like metaphysics, quantum physics, spirituality, and psychology, including Bob Proctor, Joe Vitale, John Assaraf, and Jack Canfield, who reinforce and expand on this concept throughout the chapter, giving it more credibility and depth. These contributors explain that everything in the universe, including our thoughts, is made of energy and vibrates at a certain frequency, and because like frequencies attract, the key to changing your life is to change your thoughts and align your mental energy with the outcomes you desire. The chapter stresses the importance of becoming aware of your thoughts, because they are the seeds from which your reality grows, and it urges the reader to take responsibility for their life by acknowledging that everything they are experiencing, both good and bad, is a direct result of their past thoughts and beliefs. While this idea can be empowering, it can also be confronting, as it challenges people to move away from victimhood and recognize that they are the creators of their reality, not passive recipients. Byrne explains that many people sabotage their own desires by constantly thinking about what they lack, thereby keeping themselves stuck in cycles of scarcity, illness, or unhappiness. The chapter also touches on the power of emotion as a guidance system. Our feelings serve as indicators of whether we are in alignment with our desires or not. When we feel joy, love, or enthusiasm, it means we are on the right track and attracting good things. When we feel fear, anger, or frustration, it's a signal that we are focusing on the wrong things and attracting unwanted outcomes. The emotional aspect of the law of attraction is crucial because emotion adds intensity and vibrational power to thought, making the manifestation process stronger and faster. Byrne encourages readers to begin practicing deliberate creation, by consciously choosing thoughts that make them feel good, and by visualizing their goals and dreams as if they have already been achieved. She introduces the basic creative process in 3 simple steps. Ask, believe, and receive. Ask for what you want by clearly defining it in your mind, believe without doubt that it is already yours, and prepare to receive it by feeling the joy and gratitude of already having it. The power of belief is emphasized throughout the chapter, as belief creates the mental and emotional environment in which manifestations can flourish. Doubt and disbelief, on the other hand, create resistance and block the process. This is why faith, expectation, and gratitude are so important. They align our energy with what we want and act as magnets for abundance. Byrne uses real-life success stories and testimonials to illustrate how people have used the law of attraction to overcome adversity, achieve financial freedom, heal from illness, and attract loving relationships, reinforcing the idea that this principle works for anyone in any circumstance, if applied with sincerity and consistency. She also addresses skepticism, explaining that just because something hasn't been widely taught or scientifically proven doesn't mean it isn't real. She points out that many universal laws were once invisible or misunderstood until science caught up, and encourages readers to experiment with the ideas themselves to see how they work in practice. The chapter concludes by affirming that the secret is not about wishful thinking or daydreaming. It's about taking control of your mind, becoming intentional about your focus, and aligning your entire being with what you want to experience in life. By making this shift, Byrne claims, anyone can move from a life of struggle, confusion, or mediocrity into one of clarity, abundance, and joy. Chapter 1 sets the foundation for the rest of the book by clearly revealing what the secret is and how it operates, inviting readers to embrace a new paradigm where they are not at the mercy of fate or circumstances, but are powerful creators capable of shaping their destiny through the simple yet profound act of choosing better thoughts. Chapter 2, The Secret Made Simple. Rhonda Byrne breaks down the powerful yet often misunderstood law of attraction into a clear, accessible formula that anyone can apply, making what once seemed mystical or abstract into something practical and usable in everyday life. This chapter emphasizes that the universe operates like a mirror, reflecting back to us whatever thoughts, emotions, and intentions we consistently hold, meaning whatever you focus on with strong belief and feeling, whether it's something you desire or something you fear, you are actively inviting it into your reality. Byrne simplifies the process of creation into 3 essential steps: ask, believe, and receive, which she presents as the foundational method for using the law of attraction consciously. The first step, ask, is about becoming clear about what you want. You must identify your desires and place your order with the universe, similar to placing an order in a catalog or online store. The universe doesn't require detailed instructions. It only needs clarity of desire, so the moment you ask, the process of manifestation begins. Byrne insists that the universe always responds to what you're asking, but it responds based on the vibration and energy you emit, not necessarily the words you say. If you're asking for wealth while constantly worrying about bills, your dominant frequency is lack, and that's what you'll continue to attract. The second step, believe, is perhaps the most challenging for many people, as it requires absolute faith that what you want is already yours, even before it shows up physically. Byrne emphasizes that belief is not just wishful thinking. It's an inner knowing, a complete trust in the unseen, a confident expectation that what you desire is on its way. To truly believe, you must act, speak, and feel as if you already have what you've asked for, because when you believe in this way, you align your energy with the outcome, and that energetic match is what activates the law. Any doubt, fear, or disbelief weakens the signal you're sending out and causes delays or contradictions in your manifestations. This is where visualization becomes a powerful tool. Imagining yourself already living your desire, feeling the joy and gratitude as if it's real, tricks your subconscious mind into accepting it as truth, thereby drawing it into your life. Byrne introduces the idea that your mind is like a broadcasting tower, constantly sending out frequencies through your thoughts, and whatever you send out, the universe brings back to you, just like tuning into a radio station. If you want a life filled with abundance, love, and health, you must tune your frequency to those feelings and experiences. The third and final step, receive, is about preparing yourself emotionally to accept your desire into your life. It's about feeling good, feeling joyful, and maintaining an attitude of gratitude and anticipation. According to Byrne, the universe loves a joyful receiver, and the better you feel, the more aligned you are with your desire, and the faster it comes. Feeling good is not just a result of manifestation, it's a necessary condition for it. She stresses the importance of acting as if, living your life in a way that reflects your belief in the outcome, speaking and behaving in alignment with the life you want to create. In this way, you're not waiting for your reality to change in order to feel better. You're changing your emotional state first, which in turn transforms your reality. Throughout the chapter, Byrne also discusses how people often use the law of attraction by default without realizing it. They may dwell on negative thoughts, stress over problems, or constantly talk about what they lack, and the universe, ever obedient and neutral, simply delivers more of the same. She warns that the law does not understand don't or not. For example, if you say, "I don't want to be late," the universe hears late and brings circumstances to match that frequency. Instead, you must reframe your thoughts in the positive, "I arrive on time easily." This concept may require a mindset shift, but Byrne insists that once you become aware of your thoughts and begin to consciously direct them toward what you want, your life can change rapidly. A recurring message in this chapter is the power of feeling. It's not enough to think positively. You must feel the emotions associated with having your desire now, because feelings are what generate the magnetic force that pulls your desire into your experience. She explains that your emotions are your internal guidance system. If you feel bad, it means you're out of alignment with your desires. If you feel good, you're on the right track. This emotional awareness becomes a powerful tool for self-correction. When you notice negative feelings, you can choose to shift your thoughts, raise your vibration, and get back into alignment. Byrne also tackles the issue of time and patience, pointing out that people often give up too soon, thinking the law isn't working, when in fact their impatience, worry, and doubt disrupt the process. Manifestation requires emotional consistency, and the universe responds to the dominant frequency over time, not occasional hopeful thoughts. She reassures readers that there is no need to know how things will happen. The universe handles the how, while your job is to remain focused, clear, and emotionally aligned with the outcome. In other words, don't worry about the logistics. Just stay in the space of belief and allow things to unfold. Byrne also encourages using tools such as affirmations, vision boards, and daily gratitude practices to keep one's mind centered on the desired outcome and to strengthen the feeling of already having it. These techniques help reinforce belief and maintain a high emotional vibration, which accelerates the manifestation process. She ends the chapter with the reminder that this process is meant to be joyful, empowering, and exciting, not stressful or complicated, and that the universe is friendly, abundant, and ready to deliver anything you can truly imagine and believe in. Ultimately, this chapter demystifies the law of attraction and brings it down to 3 simple steps. Ask, believe, receive, making it clear that the universe is always listening, always responding, and that our thoughts, combined with emotion and faith, are the most powerful creative force we have. Chapter 3 How to Use the Secret takes the foundational concepts introduced in the previous chapters and transitions into practical application, guiding readers step by step through the process of intentionally using the law of attraction to shape their lives in the direction of their desires. Rhonda Byrne emphasizes that this powerful universal law is already working in everyone's life, whether they're aware of it or not, and the key to transformation lies in using it deliberately, rather than unconsciously. She begins the chapter by reiterating that thoughts become things, and everything that exists in your life right now was first created in your mind, whether you realize it or not. Therefore, if you want to change your life, you must begin by changing your thoughts. This chapter focuses heavily on the creative process, which is rooted in 3 core steps: ask, believe, and receive, but now the focus is on how to actually live them out with intention. Byrne explains that the first step, asking, involves getting clear about what you want, because clarity is essential in signaling your desires to the universe. You don't need to beg or plead. The universe is not a harsh judge or a reluctant giver. Rather, it functions like a cosmic catalog or a genie whose only job is to respond to your mental and emotional orders. Asking, then, is a declaration of desire, a choice you make consciously and confidently. She explains that many people send mixed signals to the universe because they're unsure or they constantly change their mind, and this confusion leads to inconsistent results. The second step, believing, is about having unwavering faith that what you have asked for is already on its way, or even better, that it's already yours. This is not about blind optimism, but about creating a mindset of certainty, where you no longer wonder if it will happen, but instead align your feelings and actions with the knowledge that it is happening. Byrne stresses that you must act, speak, and feel as though your desire is already fulfilled. She draws on examples of successful people who visualize their success long before it manifests physically, and how belief becomes the emotional fuel that powers the law of attraction. Doubt, fear, and impatience are the most common blocks to receiving, and this chapter encourages readers to eliminate those thoughts the moment they arise and replace them with trust. The third step, receiving, is where most people unintentionally delay or block their desires because they don't prepare themselves emotionally to receive what they've asked for. Byrne explains that to receive, you must put yourself in the same frequency as your desire, which is usually a state of joy, gratitude, and love. When you feel good, you're in perfect alignment with the universe and your manifestations can flow easily to you. She offers visualization as one of the most powerful tools to use the secret effectively, encouraging readers to spend time daily vividly imagining themselves living their dream life, feeling the emotions of success, health, love, abundance, and behaving in ways that reflect those outcomes. Visualization is like mental rehearsal. It tricks your subconscious mind into believing the scenario is already real, which causes your behaviors, choices, and experiences to begin aligning with that reality. The more you visualize with genuine emotion, the faster your desires are drawn to you. Byrne also highlights the importance of gratitude in using the secret. Gratitude not only shifts your focus from lack to abundance, but it also elevates your vibration, making you a stronger magnet for the things you want. She advises readers to begin each day by listing what they're grateful for, and to feel appreciation even for things that haven't yet arrived, as if they already have. This sends a powerful message to the universe that you are ready to receive and that you're already living in abundance. Another technique discussed in this chapter is the use of affirmations, or positive statements that reinforce your belief in your desires. By repeating affirmations such as, "I am abundant," "I attract love easily," or "I am in perfect health," you begin to reprogram your mind and shift your internal narrative from one of limitation to one of empowerment. Byrne reminds readers that the law of attraction responds not to occasional wishes, but to consistent and dominant thoughts and feelings, so using these tools regularly helps to keep your vibration aligned with what you want. The chapter also tackles common pitfalls, such as people focusing on what they don't want. For instance, saying, "I don't want to be in debt," rather than "I am financially free." Because the law does not recognize negatives, it responds to the core subject of the thought, in this case debt, and continues to attract more of it. Therefore, conscious language and reframing are crucial skills in using the secret effectively. Byrne encourages the reader to become more aware of their inner dialogue and gently shift it every time it leans toward fear, lack, or resistance. She emphasizes that the universe is abundant, and there is no shortage of health, wealth, or happiness. The only limits are the ones we place on ourselves with negative beliefs. This chapter also includes real-life testimonials from people who have used these techniques to manifest everything from money and relationships to healed illnesses and life-changing opportunities. These stories are meant to inspire readers and show that using the secret works not just in theory, but in everyday life for ordinary people across the world. Byrne concludes the chapter by reminding readers that the law of attraction is always working. You're either creating by default, reacting to life with unconscious thoughts, or you're creating intentionally by focusing your mind, raising your emotional frequency, and aligning your actions with your desires. The choice is always yours, and the secret lies in using your thoughts as a creative force, your emotions as a compass, and your belief as a bridge between the invisible and the visible. Ultimately, How to Use the Secret is about moving from passive hope to empowered knowing. A shift from merely wishing for a better life to stepping fully into the role of a conscious creator who understands that the universe is a responsive and limitless field of potential, waiting to reflect back whatever you are bold enough to believe. Chapter 4 Powerful Processes delves deeper into the practical tools and techniques that amplify the effectiveness of the law of attraction, giving readers specific methods to consciously create the life they desire by aligning their thoughts, emotions, and energy with their goals. Rhonda Byrne begins this chapter by reinforcing that using the secret is not about occasional inspiration or passive wishing. It is about integrating consistent, intentional practices into daily life that strengthen the vibrational match between your inner state and the outcomes you want to experience. She introduces 3 particularly transformative processes: gratitude, visualization, and affirmation, emphasizing that these are more than feel-good exercises. They are energetic practices that shift your entire being into a state of receiving. Gratitude, the first and perhaps most important process, is described as a magnetic force for abundance. Byrne explains that when you are truly grateful, your mind naturally focuses on what's good, and that focus brings more of the same into your life. She encourages readers to start each day by writing or thinking about what they're thankful for, including both current blessings and the things they desire as if they've already been received. Gratitude transforms your emotional state instantly. It shifts you from fear or lack into joy and abundance, aligning you with the frequency of everything you want. When you're grateful, you send out a powerful signal to the universe that says, "I already have enough," and that vibration attracts more experiences that match that state of abundance. The second process, visualization, is described as the mind's workshop, where you see yourself living your dream life with such vivid clarity and emotional intensity that your subconscious mind begins to accept it as reality. Byrne encourages readers to spend a few minutes each day visualizing their desires in detail, whether it's driving a dream car, enjoying a healthy body, or living in their ideal home, and to feel the excitement, joy, and gratitude as if it's happening now. The more real you can make it in your mind, the faster it will manifest in your life. She draws from the experiences of successful individuals like athletes, business leaders, and artists who have long used visualization to achieve their goals, explaining that the brain doesn't distinguish between a vividly imagined event and a real one. The emotional intensity during visualization is the key. Feeling is the frequency that communicates your desire to the universe. Byrne also introduces the concept of creating a vision board, a physical or digital collage of images, words, and symbols that represent your goals and dreams, placed somewhere you can see it daily to keep your attention and emotions aligned. The third process, affirmation, involves speaking positive, present-tense statements that reinforce belief in your desires. These could be simple phrases like, "I am worthy," "I attract wealth," or "I am perfectly healthy," repeated consistently to rewire limiting beliefs and replace them with empowering truths. Byrne explains that your subconscious mind accepts repetition as truth, so the more you affirm something with belief and emotion, the more it becomes a natural part of your thought pattern and your energetic vibration. She stresses that affirmations must be said with conviction. You must feel the truth of the words you speak, and that the energy behind them is more important than the words themselves. Throughout the chapter, Byrne weaves in insights from other teachers featured in The Secret, like Bob Proctor and Jack Canfield, who emphasize that success is about mindset, and the tools we use are simply ways of training the mind to think in alignment with abundance, health, and happiness. The chapter highlights how most people think by default, allowing external conditions to dictate their inner state, but the processes outlined here give people the power to reverse that relationship, using inner focus to create external change. Byrne also speaks about the importance of acting as if, which is essentially behaving and feeling as though what you desire has already manifested. This ties all the processes together. When you are grateful for what you have, visualizing your success, affirming your worth, and acting as if your dreams are already real, you send out a consistent frequency of belief, and the universe responds by delivering circumstances that reflect that energy. Another powerful idea presented in this chapter is the role of intention and attention. What you intend and where you place your attention determines what you bring into your life. Byrne explains that if you're focused on problems, lack, or frustration, you will continue to attract those experiences. But if your intention is clear and your attention is on what's working, what's beautiful, and what's possible, then your life begins to shift accordingly. This is where daily mental hygiene becomes essential. Choosing your thoughts, redirecting negative patterns, and using tools like gratitude and visualization to stay in the right vibrational frequency. Byrne also addresses the time factor in manifestation, reminding readers that while the universe responds instantly to our vibration, physical manifestation sometimes takes time due to the natural unfolding of events, resistance in our belief system, or lack of emotional alignment. She encourages patience, persistence, and trust in the process, reinforcing that if you stay emotionally and mentally aligned with your desire, it is on its way, even if you can't yet see it. This chapter is all about giving readers the tools to become deliberate creators, to stop living by reaction and start living by design. The processes she outlines are not meant to be chores but joyful practices that raise your energy and shift your identity into someone who naturally attracts what they want. Byrne urges readers to experiment with these methods, make them personal, and above all to feel good while doing them, because feeling good is the signal that you're in alignment with your desires. She closes the chapter with the idea that life is meant to be extraordinary, and by using these powerful processes consistently, anyone can turn their dreams into reality. The universe is ready, she insists. All you must do is match your energy with what you want, and it must come to you by law. Chapter 5. The Secret to Money. Rhonda Byrne addresses one of the most desired and yet emotionally charged subjects in modern life, financial abundance, and offers a new perspective grounded in the law of attraction, challenging the limiting beliefs and scarcity mindset that most people unconsciously carry when it comes to money. She begins by explaining that money, like everything else, is energy and responds to the frequency of your thoughts and feelings. If you want more money, you must shift from a mindset of lack to one of abundance, because the law of attraction brings you what you are emotionally aligned with, not just what you say you want. Byrne reveals that many people unknowingly repel money by constantly focusing on its absence, thinking and speaking in terms of not enough, stressing over bills, or feeling jealous of others' wealth, and these negative emotions create a frequency that attracts more financial struggle. She emphasizes that you cannot attract prosperity while feeling poor or worried, because the emotional state of lack only draws more lack. The key, then, is to begin thinking and feeling wealthy now, even before your outer circumstances have changed. This is not about pretending or being delusional, but about energetically aligning with the state of abundance. Byrne advises readers to be grateful for every form of money they receive, no matter how small, and to bless their bills as a sign that they have services and goods in their life. Instead of resisting or resenting financial obligations, she suggests embracing them as evidence of flow, and shifting your focus to what you do have rather than what you don't. Gratitude, she reiterates, is the ultimate multiplier. By appreciating the money that is already in your life, no matter the amount, you increase your vibrational frequency to match financial abundance. She includes testimonials and insights from successful entrepreneurs, wealth coaches, and spiritual teachers, all affirming that financial success begins in the mind, that the wealthiest individuals are those who think rich, feel deserving, and believe in limitless possibilities. Byrne introduces the idea that your income and your wealth are not determined by external circumstances, but by the internal beliefs and emotional patterns you hold about money. If you believe money is hard to get, that rich people are greedy, or that wealth is only for a select few, then those beliefs will manifest as your reality. The solution is to create a new financial belief system, one rooted in freedom, possibility, and abundance. She recommends writing down positive affirmations such as, "I am a magnet for money, money flows easily and effortlessly to me, and I always have more than enough," and repeating them daily until they become second nature. Byrne also suggests visualizing yourself living in financial abundance, not as something far off in the future, but as if it is happening now. Imagining yourself buying what you want without stress, traveling where you desire, or giving generously to others. The emotional state during visualization is critical. You must feel the joy, freedom, and security that money brings, and allow those feelings to permeate your being. She stresses that it's not money itself that people want, but the feelings they believe money will bring: freedom, security, pleasure, ease. And if you can generate those feelings now, you begin to attract the circumstances that reflect them. Byrne discusses how some people block wealth through guilt or unworthiness, believing they don't deserve money or that it's spiritual to struggle. She challenges this mindset by asserting that abundance is your natural state and that money is neither good nor bad. It is simply a tool that amplifies who you already are. If you're a generous person, money gives you more ways to give. If you're a creative person, money allows you to create freely. The universe is limitless and does not run out of money or blessings. There is no need to compete, compare, or feel jealous, because someone else's success does not take away from your own. Byrne encourages readers to celebrate others' wealth and prosperity to bring that frequency into their own life, reminding them that admiration is a powerful attractor, while resentment is a repellent. She also addresses the fear of not having enough and the tendency to hoard or obsess over savings, explaining that such behaviors come from a lack mentality and signal distrust in the flow of abundance. Instead, she urges readers to adopt the mindset that money is always coming, that it flows in and out like a river, and that there is always more on the way. Giving, she explains, is another powerful tool to attract more money because when you give freely, whether it's a tip, a donation, or a gift, you affirm that you live in an abundant universe and that there's plenty more where that came from. This shifts your vibration from scarcity to generosity, opening the channel for more to return to you. Byrne cautions against letting your current financial situation define your self-worth or limit your vision, explaining that your outer reality is simply a reflection of your past thoughts and emotions, and can change rapidly once you shift your inner state. She emphasizes that wealth is not just about big windfalls or winning the lottery, but about cultivating a continuous, joyful relationship with money, where you expect it, welcome it, and treat it as a friend, not a source of stress. By aligning your emotions with abundance, using visualization and affirmations, practicing gratitude and releasing fear, guilt, and unworthiness, you transform yourself into a magnet for financial blessings. She concludes the chapter by stating that you don't need to know how the money will come. The universe will take care of the how. Your job is to maintain faith, clarity, and emotional alignment. Money, like everything else, responds to your dominant vibration, and when you believe in abundance, act with generosity, and feel wealthy now, wealth must come to you because it is law. Chapter 6: The Secret to Relationships. Rhonda Byrne explores how the law of attraction applies not just to wealth or health, but also to one of the most intimate and important areas of our lives: relationships. And she reveals that the same principles used to attract abundance can be used to attract love, harmony, and meaningful connections. Byrne begins by pointing out that relationships of all kinds, romantic, familial, friendships, even workplace dynamics, are reflections of our inner thoughts, beliefs, and feelings. According to the law of attraction, the people we attract into our lives mirror the dominant vibration we hold about ourselves and others. If we constantly think of ourselves as unworthy, unloved, or inferior, we attract partners or companions who treat us that way, consciously or not. Therefore, the first and most powerful shift to improving or attracting relationships is transforming the way we see ourselves. Byrne emphasizes that you must love and respect yourself fully before anyone else can reflect that back to you. This is not selfishness, but self-alignment. When you feel whole and secure within, your energy radiates confidence, self-worth, and emotional health, which in turn attracts people who resonate with that frequency. She explains that many people make the mistake of looking for someone else to complete them or make them feel worthy, but this expectation leads to dependency and disappointment, because no one can give us what we have not already cultivated within ourselves. Self-love is the foundation of all healthy relationships. Byrne encourages readers to focus on their positive qualities, to speak kindly to themselves, and to visualize the ideal version of themselves and their relationships. She introduces the idea of imagining and feeling into the perfect relationship, seeing yourself with a loving, respectful partner or enjoying deep connection with friends or family, and most importantly, feeling the love, joy, and gratitude as if it's already happening. Visualization once again becomes a key process, not just to wish for better relationships, but to create them by becoming the emotional match to the kind of love you want to experience. She also stresses the importance of letting go of resentment and judgment, which act as powerful blockers to love. Holding on to past hurts, betrayal, or disappointment lowers your vibrational frequency and keeps you tethered to negative relationship patterns. Byrne explains that forgiveness is not about excusing bad behavior but about freeing yourself from the emotional burden that binds you to the past. When you forgive, you release toxic energy and create space for new, healthier dynamics. She reminds readers that the law of attraction responds to what you're giving out, so if you're filled with blame, bitterness, or fear, you continue to attract people and situations that match those feelings. Instead, she encourages people to focus on what they want, not what they don't want. For instance, rather than thinking, "I don't want someone who cheats," shift the thought to, "I attract honesty and loyalty." The universe doesn't recognize negative phrasing, it picks up on the core vibration, so focusing on unwanted traits continues to bring more of them. Byrne also speaks to those in existing relationships who wish to improve them, explaining that you can transform a relationship simply by changing your thoughts about the other person. If you constantly criticize your partner in your mind, you reinforce and perpetuate those negative behaviors. But if you choose to focus on their good qualities and express appreciation, you activate those aspects of them and invite more of that into your shared experience. She shares stories of individuals who dramatically improved their marriages or friendships not by trying to change the other person, but by changing the way they viewed them, by seeing them as loving, kind, and supportive, even if that wasn't fully present yet. The shift in perception and vibration caused the dynamics to improve. Byrne also discusses how being needy, clingy, or desperate for love pushes it away, because those emotions are rooted in lack and fear, which the universe then matches. True love is about alignment, not attachment. When you radiate joy, confidence, and peace, love naturally flows to you. She encourages readers to be the energy they want to receive, to embody love, respect, joy, and compassion, because the universe is always reflecting what you're putting out. The chapter also includes insights from contributing teachers like Marcy Shimoff and Lisa Nichols, who emphasize that love is not something to chase, but something to cultivate. They speak about the transformative power of affirmations such as, "I am love," "I attract loving relationships," and "I am worthy of deep connection." Repeating these statements with emotion and belief begins to shift internal narratives and bring external change. Byrne touches on family relationships too, suggesting that even long-standing tensions can be healed by shifting your focus from what's wrong to what's good, and by choosing to see family members through the lens of compassion and understanding. Every time you look for the best in someone, you call it forward, because what you focus on expands. She also offers reassurance to people who feel isolated or lonely, reminding them that as they begin to love themselves and shift their energy, they will naturally attract people who are aligned with their new vibration. She urges readers to make a list of qualities they want in a partner or friend, not from a place of desperation but from joy and clarity, and to imagine and feel as if those relationships already exist. As you vibrate in the frequency of love, trust, and connection, she says, the universe must bring you people who match that frequency. It's simply law. Ultimately, this chapter teaches that love is not something that happens to us. It's something we create and attract by who we are being. Whether you're seeking new love, healing an old relationship, or deepening a current one, the power lies within you. The more you embody love, through self-worth, gratitude, forgiveness, and vision, the more loving your world becomes. Byrne concludes with a powerful reminder. To experience the love you desire, you must become the love you seek. When your energy is love, your life will be filled with love. Chapter 7, The Secret to Health. Rhonda Byrne applies the law of attraction to one of the most vital aspects of our lives, our health, and she presents the profound idea that our thoughts and emotions play a far greater role in our physical well-being than most people realize, potentially even more than genetics or environment. She begins by asserting that the human body is designed for wellness, that it is naturally in a state of perfect health, and that illness arises primarily from emotional imbalances and prolonged negative thinking. According to Byrne, when we think thoughts of fear, stress, worry, or hopelessness, we activate biochemical responses in the body that weaken our immune system, disrupt natural healing, and manifest physical symptoms, essentially turning negative energy into physical disease. On the other hand, when we focus on joy, love, gratitude, and vitality, our body responds with balance, strength, and healing. She introduces testimonials from people who have recovered from serious illnesses not through conventional medicine alone, but by shifting their thoughts, embracing hope, and visualizing themselves as already healthy. One of the core principles she emphasizes is the need to remove attention from illness and place it firmly on health. The more we talk about being sick, fear a disease, or constantly worry about symptoms, the more we attract those conditions because we're emotionally aligning with them. Byrne urges readers to speak and think only of health, to declare, "I feel fantastic," even in moments when they don't, because those affirmations begin to create a new energetic blueprint that the body follows. She points out that cells in the human body are constantly regenerating and that our thoughts can influence how they regenerate. If we maintain a vision of wellness and fuel it with gratitude and positive emotion, the body will mirror that frequency and begin to heal. She supports this idea with references to scientific studies in mind-body medicine and quantum physics, where subjects experienced healing effects just from the placebo effect, a powerful example of the body responding to belief rather than chemical treatment. Byrne goes on to emphasize the transformative power of visualization in healing, advising readers to vividly imagine themselves doing things they would do if they were completely healthy, dancing, walking freely, running, laughing, living without limitations, and to generate strong, positive emotions while doing so. It's not enough to simply think health, she says. You must feel it as if it's already your reality, because emotion is the energy that fuels manifestation. She gives the example of a woman who overcame breast cancer by watching funny movies every day, choosing laughter and joy instead of fear, which drastically shifted her emotional state and aided her recovery. This story illustrates a key message in the chapter, that joy, fun, and a light heart are not just pleasant extras in life but crucial components of physical health. According to Byrne, one of the biggest health destroyers is chronic stress, which often comes from focusing on what's wrong or fearing what might go wrong. She explains that by eliminating stress through deliberate positive focus, we can bring the body back to its natural state of wellness. Instead of obsessing over test results or diagnoses, she recommends turning your focus to things that make you feel good, reminding yourself that the body is always trying to heal and regenerate. Gratitude again plays a central role in this chapter, as Byrne recommends giving thanks for every part of your body, especially those areas that feel weak or unwell. When you express appreciation for your body, even while it's healing, you activate the vibration of wholeness and invite more of it. She invites readers to say things like, "Thank you for my strong heart," or, "I love how vibrant and energetic I feel," even if those statements aren't yet true in the physical world, because speaking them with emotion begins to shift the energetic reality, which then becomes the physical reality. Byrne challenges common societal beliefs around aging and deterioration, stating that these ideas are learned and culturally reinforced, not biologically absolute. She encourages people to believe in the possibility of lifelong vitality, flexibility, and wellness, regardless of age, and to stop repeating age-based limitations like, "I'm too old for this," or "my memory isn't what it used to be." These statements, she argues, are self-fulfilling prophecies. The body responds to the dominant frequency you're transmitting, so by speaking and thinking youth, strength, and longevity, you draw more of those qualities to yourself. She also touches on the dangers of obsessively researching illnesses or identifying too strongly with a diagnosis, warning that doing so amplifies the condition's power over your life. Instead, she recommends that people immerse themselves in stories of healing, surround themselves with uplifting content, and limit exposure to fear-based medical information that causes worry or lowers their emotional state. If professional treatment is part of the process, she advises approaching it with faith and optimism, not fear, trusting that it will be effective and that recovery is certain. Byrne stresses that every person has the power to choose how they feel about their health in every moment, and that choice creates the trajectory of their healing. Even small shifts, like appreciating a warm cup of tea, watching something funny, or listening to music you love, can have profound effects on the body because they change your vibration instantly. She includes examples of spontaneous remissions and recoveries that conventional medicine couldn't explain, reinforcing her message that belief, joy, and inner alignment can achieve what drugs and surgeries sometimes can't. To those struggling with chronic conditions, Byrne offers encouragement and reassurance that they are not broken or powerless, that their body is listening to every thought, and that they have more control than they've been told. She encourages them to begin each day with a decision to feel good, to see themselves as already healed, and to trust that the universe is working in harmony with their intention. In conclusion, Byrne asserts that health is our natural state, and that reclaiming it is a matter of returning to a mindset of peace, love, and alignment. She affirms that by using tools like gratitude, visualization, laughter, positive language, and self-love, anyone can activate their body's innate healing power. The universe responds to energy, and when we emit the frequency of wellness, we draw wellness into every cell of our being, not through force, but through alignment with the infinite intelligence that created us whole. Chapter 8: The Secret to the World. Rhonda Byrne takes the principles of the law of attraction and expands them beyond personal goals, health, and relationships, shifting the focus to the collective level, to how individuals can influence the world around them and how the state of the world reflects the collective consciousness of humanity. She begins by asserting that everything we experience externally is a mirror of what exists internally, both individually and globally. If we see war, suffering, injustice, or environmental damage in the world, it is not simply a reflection of external events, but a manifestation of the dominant thoughts, beliefs, and emotional states held by society at large. Byrne explains that the law of attraction doesn't only respond to personal desires but also to the vibration of collective thoughts, meaning that the way we collectively think and feel about the world shapes it on a global scale. If masses of people are filled with fear, anger, or hopelessness, then the events and circumstances we observe in the world will tend to reflect those emotions. Conversely, if individuals begin to consciously focus on peace, compassion, unity, and abundance, the world will begin to mirror that shift. This is why Byrne places so much importance on personal alignment. Each person who lives with positivity, love, and gratitude becomes a powerful force for global transformation. She emphasizes that blaming the government, the economy, or other people for the world's problems is futile and disempowering. Instead, she encourages readers to recognize their own creative power and use it consciously to influence the world. When we focus on problems, we reinforce them energetically, we give them power and ensure their continuation. However, when we shift our focus to solutions, harmony, and gratitude for what is already good in the world, we contribute to the rise of a new frequency that transforms our reality. Byrne discusses the importance of watching our thoughts and words, especially when talking about global issues. For example, if we constantly say, "The world is getting worse," or "There's so much hatred and division," we become part of the vibration that sustains those problems. Instead, she urges readers to speak the world they wish to see, to say things like, "Love is growing on this planet," or "More and more people are awakening to peace," because those affirmations contribute to the energy of global healing. She draws from examples of people throughout history who changed the world by holding a vision of peace, unity, and justice, such as Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., and Mother Teresa, noting that their power came not from weapons or politics, but from the clarity and purity of their thoughts and intentions. They believed in a better world and held unwavering emotional alignment with that belief, and in doing so they reshaped history. Byrne challenges the idea that individual efforts are too small to make a difference, emphasizing that every thought and feeling adds to the collective vibration, and that the universe is vibrationally precise. It responds to energy, not size. A single person holding a vibration of unconditional love is more powerful than thousands in fear. This is why inner work is not selfish. It is an act of service to the entire world. She introduces the idea that the news media and mass communication can perpetuate fear and negativity if not consumed mindfully, since constantly absorbing stories of disaster, crime, and division can make people feel helpless and anxious, thereby lowering their vibrational frequency and contributing to the cycle. Instead of ignoring what's happening in the world, Byrne suggests focusing attention and emotional energy on what's going right. She encourages readers to look for examples of kindness, progress, generosity, and innovation, and to amplify those stories through conversations and thoughts. When more people speak about peace than war, peace becomes the dominant vibration. When more people speak about abundance instead of poverty, abundance grows. She also introduces the importance of gratitude on a global level, expressing thanks for the planet, for humanity's potential, and for the beauty that still exists in the world. Gratitude, she reiterates, is the most powerful emotion for attracting more of what we want. If we are grateful for clean air, clean water, peace in our communities, or compassionate leaders, even if those things seem scarce, we attract more of them. She also touches on environmental issues, stating that rather than fighting pollution or climate change with anger and fear, we must approach healing the earth with love, respect, and faith in restoration. Visualizing the planet thriving, forests regrowing, animals flourishing, and oceans being clean is a more powerful contribution than protesting in hatred or despair. She believes that when individuals align with the vibration of love for the earth responds. Byrne also emphasizes the role of education, parenting, and culture in shaping the future, suggesting that when we teach children self-love, positivity, and the law of attraction, we empower a generation that can create a better world effortlessly. The chapter implies that world peace, equality, and sustainability aren't just political goals, but energetic realities that begin within each of us. Every act of kindness, every thought of love, every moment of compassion contributes to this global transformation. She encourages readers to visualize the world as they wish to see it, to imagine countries cooperating, people hugging instead of fighting, abundant resources shared among all, and the earth healed, and to feel the joy of that vision as if it were already true. She explains that the universe does not distinguish between large and small manifestations. It only responds to the strength of the feeling behind them. So, if we can believe in personal healing or wealth, we can just as powerfully believe in global peace and harmony. Byrne closes the chapter with a reminder that each individual is a co-creator of reality, not just of their personal experience but of the world at large, and that as we heal ourselves and shift our thoughts, we automatically help raise the frequency of humanity. A peaceful, joyful, abundant world is not a dream, she insists, but a possibility already forming, and every person who holds that vision and aligns with it emotionally helps bring it into reality. The secret to the world, she concludes, is to stop reacting to what we see and start consciously creating what we want to see, because the power is and always has been within us. Chapter 9, The Secret to You. Rhonda Byrne brings the message of the secret full circle, turning the spotlight directly onto the individual and emphasizing that each person is not only a user of the law of attraction but a literal extension of the universe itself, a divine creator with unlimited power and infinite potential. Byrne begins by reaffirming that everything in your life, your health, relationships, finances, circumstances, and even the people who surround you, is the direct result of your own thoughts and emotions, and she asserts that you are the author of your reality, whether you're aware of it or not. She dives deeper into the idea that you are not a passive observer in life but a conscious participant in shaping every experience you have, with your thoughts acting as the blueprint, your feelings as the fuel, and the universe as the architect that responds precisely to your vibration. This chapter is profoundly empowering, as it strips away any illusion of victimhood or limitation and instead invites you to see yourself as the powerful, divine being you truly are. Byrne explains that the same universal power that orchestrates the planets and creates galaxies flows through you. In fact, it is you, and therefore there is no dream too big, no desire too extravagant, and no situation too broken that it cannot be transformed through your belief and alignment. She invites the reader to consider the truth that everything that exists came from thought, that buildings, technologies, works of art, societies, and even individual life paths all began as a simple idea held in the mind. If you can think it and truly feel it as real, then by the law of attraction you can have it. She emphasizes that the secret to unlocking your full potential is realizing your own worth and understanding that you are already whole, already abundant, already powerful. Many people live in limitation because they believe they are small, undeserving, or controlled by external forces. But Byrne insists that this is an illusion perpetuated by ignorance of the law. The truth, she says, is that you are the creator of you. You are the energy that shapes itself. Every word you speak about yourself becomes a decree that the universe fulfills. Saying things like, "I'm not good enough," "I'm unlucky," or "things never work out for me," are not harmless statements. They are creative commands that call forth matching realities. Instead, she urges you to speak only what you desire to become. "I am powerful, I am loved, I attract abundance, everything is working out for me." The shift begins with language, which shifts belief, which shifts vibration, and vibration is what dictates the outcomes of your life. Byrne emphasizes that your identity is not defined by your past, your family, your job, or even your body. It is defined by your consciousness, your awareness, and your ability to choose what to think and feel. When you realize that the true you is infinite and spiritual, not limited or material, you begin to break free of self-imposed limitations and claim your divine inheritance as a creator. This realization, she says, is the true awakening, the secret to you, that you are not a fragment of the universe, you are the universe in human form. Byrne introduces powerful affirmations to help the reader realign with their true nature, such as, "I am the master of my thoughts," "I am one with all that is," and "I am unlimited." She suggests repeating these statements daily with deep feeling, to overwrite old mental patterns and install new, empowering truths. She also revisits the concept of gratitude, reminding readers that being thankful for who you are, your mind, your emotions, your spirit, is the fastest way to accelerate growth and manifestation. When you love and appreciate yourself as you are, you raise your vibration instantly and begin to magnetize experiences that match self-love and confidence. Byrne also touches on the idea of alignment, that the key to creating what you want is not just to think positively, but to feel as though your desires are already realized. The secret to you is understanding that you are not here to struggle, earn approval, or prove your worth. You are here to create, expand, love, and enjoy. Life is not a test but a playground, and you are meant to thrive. She challenges limiting beliefs about hard work, sacrifice, and suffering by asserting that the universe responds not to effort, but to vibration. The more joy, ease, and inspiration you allow into your life, the more aligned you become with your true self, and the more effortlessly your desires flow to you. Byrne closes the chapter by inviting the reader to truly remember who they are: a being of light, a piece of source energy, a creator born to bring dreams into form. The more you trust this truth, the more miraculous your life becomes. Your job is not to struggle with the how, but to stay in alignment with your vision and to feel good, trusting that the universe will take care of the details. She encourages you to make a practice of visualizing the best version of yourself, living in perfect health, abundant in wealth, surrounded by love, free from fear, and to hold that image with unwavering faith, because that version of you already exists and is waiting for you to claim it. In essence, Chapter 9 is a powerful affirmation of your identity as a conscious creator. The secret to you is not hidden in any book, guru, or religion. It lives within you. You are the secret. You are the source. You are the key to your own liberation and joy. And once you truly know this, not just intellectually but viscerally, emotionally, you become unstoppable because you will no longer look outside for what has always been within. You'll see that the universe is not separate from you, but an extension of your own energy, and everything you desire is already making its way to you, through you, because of you. Chapter 10, The Secret to Life. Rhonda Byrne culminates the journey through The Secret by distilling its core wisdom into a profound message about the true purpose and nature of life, which she asserts is to live in joy, to love deeply, and to create a life that aligns with your desires, because that is your birthright and your highest calling as a conscious being. This chapter serves as both a conclusion and a spiritual awakening, reminding the reader that the essence of life is not found in struggle, survival, or external validation, but in the radiant, unstoppable power of your own thoughts, feelings, and inner alignment. Byrne begins by affirming that life is meant to be abundant and joyful, and that each person is here to live as a creator, not by chance or fate but by divine design. She revisits the law of attraction, not just as a tool to manifest material desires, but as the foundational principle that governs all experiences in life, explaining that every person is constantly shaping their reality through their mental and emotional energy. Whether knowingly or unknowingly, each thought, each word, and each feeling sends out a frequency that the universe responds to with unwavering precision. Therefore, the secret to life is not outside of us. It's within our control every moment, through the choices we make and how we think and feel. Byrne emphasizes that the most important decision anyone can make is to choose joy deliberately, not because circumstances demand it, but because joy is the ultimate creative force, the highest vibration, and the purest expression of alignment with the universe. She explains that life unfolds most beautifully when you follow what feels good, what inspires you, and what brings you a sense of purpose and aliveness. According to Byrne, when you prioritize your own happiness, you not only align with your desires but also uplift the vibration of everyone and everything around you, making your joy an act of service to the world. She encourages readers to understand that the universe is benevolent, abundant, and responsive, always conspiring in their favor, not punishing, judging, or limiting. Problems, she says, only persist when we focus on them, feed them with fear, or resist their presence. But when we shift our attention to solutions, to gratitude, to the reality we want to live, we activate the forces of the universe that move mountains, open doors, and make the impossible possible. Byrne emphasizes that life is not about fixing what's wrong, but about envisioning and embodying what's right, what's joyful, what's loving, what's aligned. She also highlights the importance of gratitude once again, declaring it the gateway to all good things and the most powerful amplifier of the present moment. When we give thanks not just for what we have, but for what we desire as if it's already ours, we speed up its arrival by vibrating in perfect harmony with it. Byrne points out that the key is to feel good now, not to wait until the external world catches up. The more we celebrate the now, the more the now gives us to celebrate. In this way, time, delay, and struggle are illusions. The universe is not withholding anything. It's simply waiting for our vibration to match our desire. This chapter also invites readers to let go of control, to release the need to figure out the how, and instead to trust in the unseen forces that are always orchestrating life behind the scenes. Byrne insists that the how is the universe's job. Your only responsibility is to know what you want, feel it with clarity and joy, and take inspired action when it arises. Faith, trust, and surrender are not weaknesses, she says, but strengths that allow us to flow with life instead of fighting against it. She shares that resistance, in the form of fear, doubt, or worry, only slows the manifestation process, and that true power lies in aligning with the feeling of having already received. Byrne encourages us to live with intention, to consciously design our days through visualization, gratitude, and joy, treating every moment as an opportunity to attract more of what we love. She reminds us that life responds not to what we deserve or hope for, but to what we expect with confidence and feel with certainty. In other words, life gives you not what you want but what you believe. Therefore, belief is everything. If you believe you are lucky, loved, healthy, and abundant, then life will reflect that belief. If you believe in lack, struggle, or victimhood, then that too becomes your reality. The secret to life, Byrne explains, is to reclaim your power as the chooser of your reality, to awaken each morning with the awareness that you are the author of your story, and that your energy determines the plot. She invites us to see life not as something happening to us, but as something happening for us, shaped by us, and flowing through us. Every challenge becomes an opportunity for clarity. Every setback becomes a setup for a comeback. Every desire is already on its way the moment we align with it emotionally. Byrne beautifully reminds us that love is the greatest frequency of all. Love for ourselves, for others, for life, and for the universe. Love dissolves resistance, attracts miracles, and connects us to the divine essence of who we are. When we love life, life loves us back. The chapter closes with a powerful affirmation, that we are not just beings in the world. We are beings of the world, connected to all that is, carrying within us the same creative force that forms stars, oceans, and galaxies. To live in alignment with that truth, to know it, feel it, and act from it, is the ultimate secret to life. Byrne concludes with the empowering truth that you are the master key, that everything begins and ends with you, and that life is meant to be joyful, magical, and abundant, not for a chosen few but for everyone who dares to believe. The secret to life is to live it deliberately, with love and gratitude, as the powerful creator you truly are. Conclusion. In the conclusion of The Secret, Rhonda Byrne ties together all the core teachings presented throughout the book and delivers a final, empowering message that reinforces the transformative power of the law of attraction and the reader's role as the creator of their own reality. She reminds us that the secret is not just a concept or theory, it is a living, universal law that governs the way our lives unfold, and it is always working whether we are conscious of it or not. Byrne underscores that every single person has the power within them to create a life of joy, abundance, love, health, and success simply by understanding and applying this law. The conclusion serves as a gentle but powerful reminder that we are not victims of circumstance, fate, or randomness. Instead, we are powerful co-creators with the universe, designed to shape our lives through thought, emotion, belief, and intention. Byrne reiterates that the universe is unlimited, abundant, and always responsive to our dominant vibrations, and that life is meant to be lived as a celebration, not a burden. She encourages us to move beyond the struggle mindset and embrace the reality that everything we want already exists in the field of possibilities, waiting only for our vibrational match to bring it into physical form. The closing message also circles back to the importance of feeling, that our emotions are our most accurate indicators of what we are attracting, and that choosing to feel good on purpose is one of the most powerful things we can do. Byrne highlights the significance of gratitude, again reinforcing it as a magnetic force that attracts more blessings into our lives. The more grateful we are, the more we receive to be grateful for. She also stresses the need to eliminate doubt and fear from our minds, because those emotions act as energetic roadblocks to the flow of abundance and joy. When we focus on what we lack, we create more lack. But when we focus on what we love, appreciate, and desire with confidence, we open the door to limitless possibilities. The conclusion inspires the reader to think of their life as a blank canvas and themselves as the artist, a being who can paint any picture they desire using the brushstrokes of thought and emotion. Byrne reminds us that even the smallest shift in thought, choosing to believe something positive instead of something limiting, can cause ripple effects that completely transform our experiences. She encourages readers to be deliberate in what they give their attention to choose their words with care, to surround themselves with uplifting energy, and to live with a clear and confident vision of what they want, rather than reacting to what they see. In doing so, we reclaim our power and become active participants in the creative process of life. The conclusion also touches on the fact that change doesn't have to take a long time. Transformation can happen in an instant, the very moment you shift your thoughts and align with the frequency of your desires. Whether it's money, love, health, success, or happiness, all manifestations follow the same process. Ask, believe, and receive. Byrne reaffirms that belief is the key ingredient. Belief that you are worthy, belief that it is already yours, and belief that the universe always delivers. She encourages the reader to embrace life with a sense of wonder and playfulness, to enjoy the journey, and to trust that everything is unfolding perfectly, even if they can't see how in the moment. The conclusion reminds us that there is no need to compete, to struggle, or to fight for what we want, because the universe has enough for everyone, and our desires are never in conflict with another's. In fact, the more we help others realize their dreams, the more we align with our own abundance. Byrne finishes with the idea that the greatest gift we can give to the world is to live fully in alignment with who we are, because a person who is joyful, loving, and fulfilled becomes a beacon for others, an inspiration, and a force of good in the world. The conclusion leaves us with a call to action, not one of effort but of consciousness, to wake up every day with intention, to think thoughts that uplift, to speak words that affirm, to act from love, and to trust in our power. It reminds us that the secret is not something to be used once and forgotten. It is a way of being, a lifelong perspective shift that, when mastered, turns ordinary living into an extraordinary adventure. Byrne's final message is filled with warmth, encouragement, and limitless possibility. You are the author, the painter, the creator, and you hold the pen, the brush, and the power. Life doesn't happen to you, it happens through you, and when you live with awareness, gratitude, love, and joy, you step into your rightful place as a deliberate creator of your reality. Everything you could ever want or need is already available to you. You simply must believe, feel, and allow. That is the ultimate secret. The conclusion empowers the reader to step out into life with confidence, optimism, and the deep inner knowing that no dream is too big, no desire too far-fetched, and no goal beyond reach, because within you lies the very power that created the universe, and once you realize that, there are no limits to what you can do, be, or have.